I don't really agree with the Indiana Fever firing Christie Sides. I mean, she definitely had the franchise better than they are in a long time, seeing as how they hadn't made the playoffs since 2016 and have been like one of the bottom dweller teams. Now she takes them to the playoffs for the first time in 8 years, and then they just show her the door. Like, and I don't even think it's because coaches need players, and players need coaches. So don't be that person that thinks you know much more than these coaches know and try to criticize her coaching and X's and O's and stuff. Like you could do better. Um, yeah, they got Caitlin Clark, and that changes things a lot. But she's the coach, so if you can criticize her for things, then you got to give her credit for when things go well. She's the one that coached them to the playoffs, and if I'm not mistaken, they had a 7-win improvement. And for the people that don't know, they don't play 82 games; they play 40. So for her to win 7 more games, it's like a 17.5 to 18% improvement, which is a big improvement to win 4 more games out of I mean 7 more games out of a 40 game season. And realistically, what expectations did they have? Uh, they weren't winning the championship. They aren't one of the top 4 teams in the league. They're not better than Connecticut. They're not better than the Aces. They're not better than New York. They're not better than Minnesota. Like they weren't gonna just get catapulted to the top just because they got Caitlin Clark. They improved. They started out like 1-8 or 1-7, and they improved. I mean, and they better than they were last year. Seeing as how, like I said, they hadn't made the playoffs since 2016. So for them to have improvement and her still get fired makes no sense to me. It's just more a culture in all sports these days of just firing coaches like really fast. Because the Chicago Sky fired Teresa Weatherspoon after 1 season, Angel Reese's team. And there's been multiple firings in the WNBA. It's like everybody's so trigger happy, and some people will blame Caitlin Clark and say things that they have no proof of, like she wanted her fired, or they'll say it's the Caitlin Clark effect. It's just kind of the way things have been in sports now. I mean, see, people seemingly fire people for no reason. Like I said, a coach that could have grown with them. Like they could have improved upon that and gotten past the first round next year. Seeing as how last year they didn't even go to the playoffs. So I'm not a fan of this firing. I think she's a good coach. Then you take leagues and you got a lot of these teams that have been mainly bottom dwellers like Indiana. They have a little bit of success, and then all of a sudden they just put these expectations on themselves like they were supposed to do better. Like you weren't gonna do better. You weren't good enough to win a championship, but you had a coach that had been establishing something there, had been on her 3rd season, gotten some good players in, which ain't even her job. She's not the GM. She doesn't build the roster. And when she takes the team to the playoffs, you fire her. Now they all got to start over with a new coach. And who are you going to get that's going to be better than her? I saw somebody online say that they think that they'll try to go after Lisa Bluter, which is Caitlin Clark's college coach, even though she retired. I mean, that's not totally outside of the realm of possibility, but we'll see. But that's just my opinion on that. I hate to see that happen when you have a franchise that's actually improving. But so many times these days franchises are improving, but that's not enough. I don't know what their expectations were. Like they weren't making the WNBA finals. They're not that good. They got a generational talent coming up, but when is the last time a rookie ever led their team to a championship? Now, you could probably come up with this with an answer if you Google it, because probably nobody's gonna know that off the top of their head. The only one I can think of is Magic Johnson, and that was a long time ago. That doesn't happen these days. Young teams don't win championships, but for them to make it to the playoffs was and improve throughout the year, it's pretty good. And I thought she did a good job leading them. But that's just my opinion. I hope everybody has a good rest of your Sunday.